All right, here we go. We back, baby. We back. So I was talking. I had a bunch of takes that I just laid out, and you guys couldn't hear me. Shout out Kevin Zwicker 96 for letting me know you guys couldn't hear me. But we're good. We're here. I had the fiery takes ringing off, and y'all couldn't even hear me. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, just to summarize what I was talking about, I said you go back to the divisional round last weekend, and my issue was I couldn't figure out who to root for. There was just no vested interest in a team. And when you're a Jet fan, this is a repetitive annual exercise, one that you have done now for the last 15 years, because it's almost like the Jets start the season ineligible for the playoffs, like that college team that got in trouble. So the consequence was you can't make the playoffs. That's pretty much what it is for the Jets. So every year you find like, all right, who can I root for once the postseason comes around? And I couldn't find that team. Aaron Rodgers got bounced in the wild card round, so the Steelers were gone. Lamar didn't make the playoffs, so the Ravens weren't there. Honestly, I know this is sacrilegious to say in New York, but I was rooting for the Eagles, but they get clipped in round one by the Niners. So there just was the Chargers. I like Justin Herbert. They got bounced. So there was no team. Every team that I was rooting for got knocked out in round one. And so you get to the divisional round, and I'm thinking, none of these teams are doing it for me. It's not moving the needle. But obviously, I'm rooting against Buffalo. I'm rooting against New England. And then I watch what Denver did against the Bills, and I'm like, all right, I'll pull for the Broncos. And then Bo Nix, 5 minutes after the game, it's announced he's hurt. So now I don't really care for the Broncos. I wanted them to beat the Patriots, but like, there's no great story there. I guess Sean Payton would have been fun. Then I finally arrived at championship week, and I said, you know what? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is who I am going to root for. That is where I'm planting my flag. I've got no hatred for the Seattle Seahawks. They haven't done anything wrong to me. I was not the biggest fan of those Legion of Boom teams. But it's a cool story. Mike McDonald in year two. How about this? I put this on Twitter yesterday, right? And I want to pull it up for you. Speaking of the Seahawks, JSN, who was just extraordinary yesterday. So extraordinary that it brought me back to the 2023 draft. And take a look at this, y'all. The 2023 draft, the Jets are sitting there with the 15th pick. And all of us thought they were going with Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they took Will McDonald. Man. And you look there and you see two all-pro guys taken after them, Christian Gonzalez and JSN. But Jets had a chance at JSN. They took Will McDonald. But, we can create an entire 53-man roster of players the Jets should have drafted that ended up becoming good elsewhere. Anyway, I'm watching the game yesterday. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. It was very odd to me, very, very odd to me to see quickly and how quickly the narrative shift to it went from Sam Darnold can't win big games, because we saw last year with a 14-win Vikings team, week 18, gunning for the 1 seed against the Lions. They lost because Sam Darnold was not very good. They then play in round one of the playoffs last year against the 7 seed, or no, they were the 5 seed. So they were playing the 4 seed, and they lost. They lost. And so no one at that time was saying, look at the Jets. What a mistake they made. We had seen them lose to the Lions for the 1 seed. Sam didn't play very well. And then we saw them the following week lose to the Rams, where they scored 9 points. Once again, Sam Darnold did not play very well. So essentially, those were two playoff games where he failed, and Minnesota decided, all right, we've got our rookie quarterback coming off of an ACL injury. We're just going to ride with him. And now, just so quickly, people just like forget their own takes. We are now at a point where it's like, oh, the Jets, what a mistake they made by giving up on Sam. And it is the classic case of revisionist history, because no one at the end of the 2020 season, after watching Sam Darnold for a third straight year underwhelmed, where he was turnover prone, he was inaccurate, clearly in over his head, seeing goals, mono, like it just wasn't working out for him. No one watched that season after he had 9 touchdowns to 11 interceptions and a 73 passer rating and thought the Jets should pick up his 5th-year option. The Jets, with a new regime coming in, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, they're sitting there with the second pick in the draft. So you get your quarterback. No one at the time thought the Jets were making a mistake by trading him to Carolina. People, I remember, oh, good value. What was it, a 3rd-round pick they got for him? Didn't the Jets get a 3rd-round pick for Sam Darnold? I've got that right. Oh, it was a 6th-round pick in 2021, and in 2022, 2nd and 4th-round picks. So they got three picks for Darnold, and I remember people saying, pretty good trade, pretty good value, so good for the Jets. And now it's like, oh wow, how could you give up on Sam Darnold? And it just doesn't make sense to me. And what also doesn't make sense to me, I saw Sean Marash, and I guess this is his shtick. This is what he likes to do, conjure up like the worst of takes just to incite reactions. And he's like, not only are the Jets going to, for the rest of their lives, regret trading Sam Darnold, if he wins the Super Bowl, it's somehow worse than what Saquon Barkley did for the Eagles. And I'm thinking to myself, how could a serious person come up with this take? How could you be a serious person and say Sam Darnold, who left the Jets, went to Carolina, went to San Francisco, Minnesota, and then ended up with the Seahawks, him winning a Super Bowl 4 stops later is worse for the Jets than Saquon, who wanted to stay with the Giants. Giant fans wanted him back, then leaves because they decided to penny pinch, goes down the turnpike to the Eagles, has an historic season, and helps them win the Super Bowl. How could you say that is for the Jets is worse? I don't understand that. It is unserious. It's clownish. But I guess it works, right? Because people like myself are sitting here talking about it. You got the desired reaction with clicks on the tweet, and you had Jet reporters responding to it. It became a big thing. I just thought it was insanity. It's insanity. Now, if you want to say this serves as an indictment on the Jets as far as their program and how they just can't develop quarterbacks, then I didn't need to see Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl to already know that. I've watched the Jets in my entire life. I saw Geno Smith, who, has now fallen back off that cliff, but I saw him go to Seattle and become a good quarterback. We've seen it. This is not the place for quarterbacks to come to hit their apex, to hit peak development. We know that. Organization, top to bottom, is a disaster. We saw it this past weekend, Aaron Glenn firing a bunch of assistant coaches. Now, it looks like they might end up with Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator, and Tanner Engstrand didn't get fired. He got demoted. So maybe this works out, but there are a lot of ways you can be critical of the Jets. Obviously, they give you so much ammunition, man. Every single day, load up the clip, and you can fire off takes that are critical of the Jets and how they do things because they're such a mess. It's dysfunctional, it's disorganized, and you don't by accident miss the playoffs 15 consecutive seasons. You don't by accident become maybe the worst franchise in all of the NFL. That starts at the top with ownership. They can't hire the right general managers. They swing and miss on head coach. Like it is an atrocity. So believe me when I say you've got a ton of ammunition. They give it to you. It's so easy to find. But when we get to the ridiculousness of the Sam Darnold revisionist history, actually they should have kept him. And oh, by the way, if he wins the Super Bowl, this is worse than Saquon winning with the Giants. Again, how is that a take how is that a take that you can allow to be uttered? How is that not unserious? And this is not me sitting here defending the Jets because again, I ripped them more than anyone. I got called out this past weekend on social media because I I'm too critical of them. And it's like, my man, they haven't had a winning season since 2015. What the hell are you talking about? I'm too critical of them. The last time the Jets had a winning season, we Obama was still president. And that feels like ages ago. So don't sit here and tell me that I'm not positive enough about this football team. It's crazy. But if we want to be critical of them, let's at least be fair, honest in our assessment. The Sam Darnold stuff is just insane. People forget Sam was bad on the Jets, and it was getting to the point that the Jets needed to decide to pay him. Vikings deserve more smoke. He played well, and they let him go. Absolutely. If you are going to do a power ranking of who should feel the worst about what Sam Darnold is doing in Seattle, at the top of the rankings has to be Minnesota. And I understand it's a tough spot to be in because you drafted JJ and you obviously were high on him enough to take him where you did. And it just pulling the rug from underneath him when you hadn't seen what he was going to be. And then last you saw Sam Darnold was he wet the bed in your two biggest games of the season. It's a tough spot to be in. But they have to be the ones who get the brunt of the criticism because he was in their building when this version of him existed. And I also, and here's where I challenge the people who want to look at the Jets and say they should have egg on their faces. I happen to have tremendous respect for Kyle Shanahan, who I think is the best offensive mind in football. Hands down. Kyle Shanahan is the best offensive mind in the sport. And so, to me, there is an element of Sam going to San Francisco, where, of course, obviously he didn't play much, but being in that building with that head coach as a part of meetings and drills and getting reps, that helped him become who he is today. I truly believe that if Sam does not go to San Francisco, he is not this player he is right now. That's how much respect I have for Kyle Shanahan. Look what he's done. Look what he did this year with Mac Jones. Look what he did. He got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Brock Purdy just got a bag last offseason. And Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. But did anyone expect the last pick in the draft to be the starting quarterback of a team in the Super Bowl? That's what Kyle Shanahan does. And so when I look at what Darnold has become, I give him a lot of credit, obviously, because he was talented enough to be the number 3 pick in the 2018 draft. But Shanahan's got a lot to do with that. So if he doesn't, if Shanahan had coached Darnold before he got to the Jets, then maybe we're having a different conversation. But I think him stopping in San Francisco and then going to Minnesota, where KOC is an exceptional offensive mind, that helped. And now he's coming off of what was the best game of his career in the biggest game of his career. And what was so telling was you see a lot of coaches in the spot that Seattle was in yesterday. It's like, what do we think is the number one priority? Is it draining the clock, or is it just ending the game? And they're up 31-27. Up 31-27. The Rams cooking. Stafford is cooking that Seahawks defense. Absolutely annihilating them. And so they're up 31-27. And you're thinking, all right, 4:54 left. Coaches tend to get conservative, bleed out the clock. And Kubiak's like, nah. First play's a 4-yard run. Kenneth Walker was tremendous in that game. Tremendous. So they're now 2nd and 6. And you're thinking they're going to run the ball again. Nope. Play action pass, Darnold, 15 yards over the middle to Kenneth Walker. Or this might have been the screen pass. Kenneth Walker goes and he picks up the first down. Right? It's a 3-yard run, incompletion. You're now 3rd and 7. 3:20 left in the game. Are we going to cause the Rams to burn a timeout? Nah, we're going to keep throwing the football. And they kept throwing and throwing and throwing. And that shows you just how much confidence, and we're going to get to my man Boy Green here in a moment. That just showed you how much confidence that Seattle had in Darnold. We're not running the clock out. We're not going to get conservative. We're going to let this dude in the biggest game of the season with a chance to get to the Super Bowl continue to throw it. All right, it's been a minute since I chopped it up with my guy. We go back to Syracuse doing radio together. But my man Boy Green, he is joining us live from Syracuse, New York. Wearing the BG hat. I see the merch. I respect it. What's going on, baby?
Ty gosh darn Butler, the Ty Butler Show. About damn time I got some airtime over here. What the hell is going on? Look at you back there. Look at you at the Ty Butler right? Show. Activity. Hey, you probably have some merch laying around somewhere. Ty, it's great to see you, man.
It's good to see you. I had a listener hit me up and it was like, "Yo, I got something for you." I was like, "What we got?" And he hit me in the DMs with this icon, with this logo. So I was like, "Yo,
nice,
yeah, man." Okay. So do me a favor, Boy Green, because I want your audience to be, locked in and tapped in. So how about you give us a little share on social media?
Yeah, I already did. I already retweeted it, and I'm about to stream it to my YouTube audience. I want to get some more people. Let's get this party pumping in here,
let's
baby.
Do it.
Yeah,
let's do it because
we'll get that cooking.
Well, because by the way, the Patriots, one of the Patriots Super Bowls, we watched together. And that was
oh my god, yes.
Pats Falcons.
Jesus.
Yo, that was such a miserable experience for us because we were on cloud 9. We were, you would have thought we were Falcons fans. Yeah. But the way we felt up 28-3, Brady's throwing pick sixes, we were like, oh man, this is fun. And until it wasn't so fun.
Yeah, I remember us. We had both of our ladies there. We're all there. Me and you have pizza, wings. We're high-fiving. Woo-hoo-hoo! 28-3. God, this is the greatest thing of all time. Screw the Patriots. Oh, man, the Falcons. Man, pour it on. And then Brady threw a pick six. And I'm like, oh,
it was great.
This is great. It felt so good. It was absolutely going. And I don't know how it was for you, Ty, but for me, I had no thought that New England was going to come back until there were just moments where I'm like, that sack took the Falcons out of field goal range. That would
Oh
have
my
just
god.
given a little bit more juice here or there. And so, yeah, that's when I started to go, oh boy.
It's one of the
Oh boy.
worst sacks in NFL Super Bowl history.
Terrible.
It's second 11 because the screenshot showed up on my phone. It's and 11. Like the one you can't take.
Run the
Why are you
ball.
not running the ball? Like all of it was just a mess. Everything about it was a mess. And so, and how
And
about
it's a
this?
harsh reminder, Ty, right? Because, like, so the Falcons, right? They go to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan's the league MVP. They're like, okay, sure, we blew this game to the Patriots, but we're going to keep being here, baby. Move over. Dirty Birds coming through. And they haven't been there since.
Yeah,
And then Dan Quinn gets fired. Everyone gets lost around. That's why you got to take advantage while you're there. You never know when you're going to come back. Dan Marino, what's that? Year 2? He's like, oh, I'm going to go to plenty of these. Never went to another one. So you just have to hit while the iron's hot. It's so freaking hard to win a Super Bowl, man. And now the Falcons are one of the many teams that just don't have a world championship.
and then Burrow too, right? Like Burrow's in the Super
Right?
Bowl, and we're like, oh, he'll be back, and they can't make the playoffs now.
No.
And
Terrible.
so, how about this, man?
Yes, sir.
If we want to bask in more depression,
Sure. Yeah. Love that.
so since the Jets last made the playoffs, the Patriots have made 5 Super Bowls. How do we feel about that?
Oh, I was unaware of that statistic. So thank you for that. Since that point, to see the first Patriots dynasty die, and then, Patriot fans, obviously, we got to pour one out for all the Patriot fans that had to suffer for 3 years or whatever it was until they were good again. And then a new dynasty get created with Vrabel and May, who are going to be here for like the next 15 years. That's incredible. I did not know it had been 5 Super Bowls, but you mentioned, although it wasn't during this entire span, while I hate seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl, that sucks. The next best thing is seeing a team get all the way to the Super Bowl and lose. And thankfully, I saw it twice with the Giants. Got to see it once with the Eagles. Shout out to Nick Foles, baby. So
it's a dangerous game, though. It's a dangerous game. It's very dangerous because we also did see them play the Seahawks, and then Malcolm Butler happened. Shout out Jake Asman. Shout out Jake Asman, who was weighing in 2 of the all-time greats. Jake does the Sunday show with Mike Tannenbaum, so make sure you guys check him out. And obviously, he does his YouTube show every day.
Baby. Yes, and I've seen you guys do some stuff together. There's been some Ty Butler, Jake Asman action happening over there. ESPN New York.
We did some afternoon drive. It was fun. Nice. We ripped the Jets for 3.5 hours, so that was good.
So where do you stand? Are you you've done enough work with Jake where you sort of know where he sort of sits. So that's the Mendoza line, is Jake and his anger with the Jets and Aaron Glenn. Are you above? You below? Well, where do you sort of stand on the Mendoza pissed off at Aaron Glenn and the Jets line?
No, I'm just as pissed off. I just got so what I tried to do was take a step back and just realize he's not going anywhere. So continuing to scream about it, was just, it wasn't doing anything for me. And you watch this past weekend and they're blowing up the coaching staff. And there are 2 different ways to look at it. It's
sure.
Well, if it's broken, then obviously fix it. Or it's further reminder, man, what an abject failure year 1 was. But then as I try to as I try to be therapeutic and rinse myself off of what was maybe the worst season in Jet history, I get idiots hitting me up on X saying that I'm too hard on Aaron Glenn. And not just that I'm too hard on him, but it's the media's fault. It's the media turned Jet fans against Aaron Glenn. I'm like, no, it wasn't the 3-14 season. It wasn't going an entire year without an interception. It wasn't the fact that he's sitting up there because Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor, we want to have a competitive advantage. We're not going to announce who our starting quarterback is. So it wasn't the fact that they were consistently getting blown out. They got embarrassed in their division. None of that is why Jet fans were turned off by Aaron Glenn. It's the media. It's me and Jake Asman. Come on now.
Well, I forgot until you said it that we had a Twitter interaction that just hit me because, what was your poll? Is AG catching too much heat for everything? What is it?
Let me pull it back
Yeah,
up.
yeah, go ahead and pull it up,
Because
because that sparked a conversation between me and you. Because like the first thing that came to me, and we'll get the specific verbiage here in a second, is that like Robert Saleh, he fired a bunch of his assistants after year one. Year one was what do you go 4 wins, and AG had 3, so it was just as terrible. Let's go to the tail of tape here. What do we have here? Has the
has
Aaron Glenn criticism gone too far? Right.
Yeah,
So like
and it actually
and
ended up
yeah.
closer than I thought.
Oh
51%
wow.
said
Okay.
51.9% said yes,
Yeah.
48.1% said no. And
Okay.
you
Okay.
asked me where was this
Yeah.
heat for Salah, and the point that I made
Sure.
was, well, it's hard to be bad and unlikable. It's like it's like when we say, man, you can't be ugly and have a bad attitude. Like that's just not going to work out for you. And that's like the coaching version of this. You can't be
Yes.
bad and unlikable.
That's true. Right. And I think AG obviously has done himself no favors to come in with the brashness of saying, oh, we're going to let Justin Fields play quarterback. And, this is going to be a team they're proud of. Well, I didn't say proud of right now. Like, he has just said so much stupid shit. And we're on the internet, but,
Yeah, you
all
can
the
you can
swear.
talk the way I
Okay,
mean, this
great.
is my show.
The
You good.
stupid shit. Like, man, he has said so much stuff that, again, for me, and I'm an AG guy, I try to defend him. I try, but there's just so much stuff that he says. It's really difficult to defend a lot of the dumb stuff. So you mix, I guess, the dumb stuff with all the losing, and then the normal, some not normal first year stuff where, he's doing terrible management situations and firing his defensive coordinator with 3 games to go. Yeah, that has been a bad recipe so
You
far.
fired defensive coordinator
Yep.
before the entire season. You've now
Yep.
demoted your offensive coordinator.
Sure. Yeah.
Everything about your starting quarterback got benched after 9 games, and it actually would have
Terrible.
been sooner had Tyrod not gotten hurt before.
Correct.
What was it? The Cincinnati game.
Correct. Yeah,
So
he hurt his knee in the Panthers game, which we didn't know. And then we said, a quarterback change is coming. Just kidding. Tyrod's not available. I guess we have to go to Justin. And that was the same week that Woody Johnson said, yikes, the only reason we're sucking is because Justin Fields blows. And then AG had no choice but to go back to Justin Fields days later. And then Justin Fields has this halfway decent game against Cincinnati. You're like, oh, okay.
and this is why the Jets are the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Because the owner doesn't, and we saw the Terry Pagula like disaster class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
my God,
that press conference just
thank you.
It was funny. It's like, so who's the worst owner in the AFC East? Oh, okay. Let's revisit that conversation. But and Woody Johnson did not realize when he's doing that whole thing, we have the worst starting quarterback in football. In fact, no team, no coach would be able to win with the starting quarterback. Hey, Woody, guess who gave $30 million guaranteed to that starting quarterback? The guy that you're in love with, the guy that you can't stop. He said, I can't stop hugging Aaron Glenn. Well, that's the dude who signed Justin Fields. So if he's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL and no head coach can win with him, how about putting some blame on the head coach who signed him?
Yeah, there was a slight miscalculation in free agency.
So it's
slightly askew. Yeah.
It's amazing, man. All right. So this game this past weekend, predictably, because I talked about this on the radio on Friday night, if the Seahawks win, like the Jets are just such low-hanging fruit, this is going to become an indictment of the Jet organization. And I just have a hard time understanding the people who are now engaging in such revisionist history, actually saying to themselves that Sam, following his 3rd year in the league where a lot of turnovers, seeing ghosts, mono, they've got a decision to make on picking up his 5th-year option. You just watched him in his 3rd year with the Jets throw for 9 touchdowns, 11 picks, and have a 73 passer rating. And you're saying the new head coach, new general manager should pick up his 5th-year option? I don't think people believe that.
No. Again, it is revisionist history. It's, I see him in the Super Bowl now. Wait, who did he get drafted by? The Jets. They're terrible. And by the way, the Jets got a halfway decent haul for Sam Darnold, a 2 of 4 to 6 when they traded to Carolina. So he got good value for what he was, despite all those numbers you just read. He goes to Carolina, That's a succopotamus. He goes to San Francisco. He's a backup, and he plays sparingly when Purdy was hurt. Then he goes to Minnesota, wins 14 friggin' games, and Kevin O'Connell, quarterback guru, says, nah, we got J.J. McCarthy. Sam, see ya. Well, where the hell is the heat for Minnesota? As Sam Darnold then goes to Seattle. That's probably the bigger red flag to me. Sure, the Jets were there, and Joe Douglas's broken promise to Darnold's poor parents. Don't worry, protection of playmakers is coming for Sammy. And a whole lot of nothing was happening there.
Wait, you're underrating Ryan Khalil.
Oh, my God, Ryan Khalil. Yeah, Joe Douglas's signature move after being hired months later, called him off the couch and said, Ryan, you got it in you one more time? He says, hell yeah, I do. And if he didn't come off the couch, Jonathan Harrison, if anyone remembers that name in Jets land, was supposed to be starting at center. Like, oh dear God. So yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, I guess it's just not as sexy to rip the Vikings than it is to rip the Jets. By the way, one of the reasons why I remember Jonathan Harrison is because he always he spelled his name weird.
Yeah, it was like Jonotton. Harrison was like bizarre, and he had sort of had this caveman look too. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I will never forget that now. And just random other Jets players from yesteryear in the middle of this drought. We just have so many war stories to tell each other at therapy every Wednesday night at 8:00. So yeah, it's.
I love that. I do love that the Vikings are part of this, because one of our like infamous moments.
Oh yeah.
We got into a big argument about the Vikings during the podcast. Yeah, we were screaming at each other.
I couldn't believe
after the show.
Yeah,
losing because you had the Sam Bradford for MVP case that I just wasn't trying to hear at all.
Right. We were in the ESPN Syracuse studios. We're in a side booth. We're just doing a show. And heat is picking up, and so much so that like people are walking by going, "What is happening in there? What kind of heat is happening in the middle of this podcast?" So Ty, passion will never be denied in some of those chats. That's for sure. Yeah. So we have a long history together, man.
How'd the Sam Bradford for MVP case age for you?
What year was that, Ty? Can you give me the year on that? What year was that?
That had to have been 20. Was that 2016? It had to have been 2016.
Yeah. Okay, let me see some stats to see if it did pan out for me. Let's see, what did old Sam do? Okay. Oh, you look at Sam Bradford. Look at these numbers. 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, 72% completion percentage. Oh, yeah. Sam Bradford was cooking, baby. 3,800 passing yards. It was the best year of his career. Yeah, I stand behind that MVP tick.
Really?
Yeah, look at that. That stands. That stands the test of time.
I think Matt Ryan won it that year. They had the 6th highest scoring offense in NFL history.
What was it? Oh, 2016. Yeah, I know 2015 was Cam Newton's year. That's when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl against the Broncos. So that was Cam Newton's year was 2015, that crazy year. So yeah, 2016, I think you're right. That had to have been the Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. Wow. Yeah.
So
that's too bad. Sam Bradford got robbed.
Yeah, we're gonna look at that years from now and say, man, Sam Bradford, that was a horror show. He got robbed. So right. You agree with me, like the Jets shouldn't really catch heat for this. Now, if you want to say it speaks to a larger problem with the program in that their inability to develop quarterbacks has just been well documented, I'll just say, I don't need to see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl to already think that. Like if Darnold had gone one and done in the playoffs, I still would have thought the Jets, their infrastructure is an issue when it comes to developing quarterbacks.
Yeah, although I guess it gets more highlighted every round of the playoffs and more national audience he continues to pelvic thrust in front of. So yeah, that definitely does it. But I'll tell you this, and this is another debate point on social media: is you as a Jets fan, oh boy, you must be really in it, huh? Yeah, seeing Sam, Darnold doing all this cool stuff must suck as a Jets fan, huh? And while sure, I'd rather Sam Darnold be doing it for my team, I think I have I don't know how other Jet fans feel in the audience, but I'm rooting for Sam, and I'm not thinking twice about it. And I'm like, man, Sam, go win it. And now, of course, he's playing the New England Patriots, so that passion is only more intense. But no, I want Sam to do it because I think one of the big, now to your point, there's a lot of stats that indicate Darnold had plenty of blame for himself to go around, but the Jets didn't do him any favors. He didn't have Garrett Wilson. He didn't have Breece Hall in the backfield. He didn't have Armand Membu and Olu Muiwa and all these other guys.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't discredit Robbie Anderson before he went.
Is that what he's being called now? Chosen? What is it? Robbie with an IE, Robbie with a Y. Yeah, is that Greg Salas? Some Chaz Schillens action? Sure, you got to give love where love is due. But I think that's part of it too, is that it wasn't all Sam's fault. I think Jet fans are like, damn, man, we screwed it up. So, like, a lot of the quarterbacks the Jets take, they just stink. Zach Wilson sucks. Like, that could have also been infrastructure and other problems, but, like, the player wasn't good. So the fact that we screwed up with Sam, I think, is a Jet thing that, again, we do for our therapy sessions every week to say, damn, we should have set him up better. So
so here's the thing, though. Like, because I struggled with, once Lamar doesn't make the playoffs, Rodgers gets bounced in round one, Herbert bounced in round one. I actually was pulling for the Eagles. Once I saw a bunch of teams that I would have liked to see win the Super Bowl, it was just a struggle for me to find one to be like emotionally invested in rooting for. Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
You could actually make the case that there will be no bigger, Jet moment for Sam Darnold than knocking the Patriots off and beating them in the Super Bowl. Like, that's how you really become a fan favorite for the Jets. You beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Yeah, let's retire Sam's jersey right after the game. 13 days from now. That game will be over about 10:35, 10:45. We could just put him in the rafters.
Hey, I would love nothing more. Again, I think it was Tony Vegas who had the tweet on social media that says basically the third overall pick and Sam will be worth it if he beats the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And that's hilarious. And I agree. I want Sam to get that for him. And again, for Jet fans, it's the Seattle Seahawks. We have no real connection outside of thanks Jamal Adams for all those picks that ended up being Garrett Wilson. So appreciate that. But besides that, we have like no connection to Seattle. If they win, who gives a flying hoot? New England, I don't want this new dynasty crap. Vrabel interviewed with the Jets, and there's all this BS. And then the Jets beat Belichick in his final game, which put the Patriots in a position to draft Drake May. All that disgusting noise. So, yes, Sam, destroy the Patriots. You have the ghost game. ESPN released all that mic'd up stuff from Sam on the sideline. This is Sam's moment. This is going to be like the greatest comeback story of all time, to go through everything he's gone through and then to beat the team that was a big reason people were clowning all over him, or to haunt him, pun intended, with the ghosts, that if he doesn't beat this team, and it's so, we just talked about the Falcons, how difficult it is to get there. Who knows if Sam ever gets back again? So he has to take advantage of this moment, or else it'll be on his ledger forever.
The more I think about it, maybe this was 3D chess by Joe Douglas. And he's like, listen, it's the Jets. We're never going to be good enough to have Sam reach his peak, reach his apex. So how about we just trade him? And then one day he'll end up on a team that can knock the Patriots off.
Next level stuff there, JD.
Yeah, like that's just like galaxy brain. Yeah, I like it, Joe Douglas. I love. You know what I don't like though, Joe Douglas?
Yeah.
Remember when you had the 15th pick in the draft and there was an opportunity just sitting there, sitting there, a golden opportunity for you to get a stud receiver in the draft. And you said, you know what? Nah, how about we go Will McDonald? So they take Will McDonald at 15. And then after Will McDonald, you see on the screen here, 2 all-pro guys are just sitting there, Christian Gonzalez and JSN. So that's not the Joe Douglas stuff we want.
Look at that, JSN. And everyone, we were so satisfied with having Alan Lazard as our wide receiver too, that, he had to be the guy over JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who every Jets fan wanted. Garrett Wilson wanted his former teammate with him. Yeah, to see him have the crazy year he's had, that is hey, Will, love Will, love his crazy personality, and that's right. Got to interact with his coaches. They did a documentary about him, his crazy journey of like sleeping in cars, and Will McDonald actually working at McDonald's. And I interacted with like his high school coaches for that documentary. So like I got to know some people around him, but Come on now. JSN? All the almost Jets, the woulda, coulda, shoulda Jets. That's a very rich list. Tyreek Hill, all the
Puka
quarterbacks, Brett
Nakua,
Favre. I mean,
Puka
Puka Nakua.
Nakua,
Oh my
Josh
God.
Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
But I
Josh
guess,
Allen. Oof. Yeah. List
but I
goes on.
guess like there's a case to be made.
Mhm.
Like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they never become those guys if the Jets draft them.
Yeah, definitely with Josh and then Lamar, probably because you had to just refine that offense. You had to tailor the offense to him. Would the Jets have been able to do that? Probably not. So yeah, Josh and that would have been screwed for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. So you watched these games yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that was more Denver losing or the Patriots winning?
Oh, that's Denver losing. New England has a 4-leaf clover shoved up those orifices. Like, come on, man. Look at their path. Look at the AFC Championship game itself. And the Broncos, what are we doing? You're up 7-0. I'm like, oh, obviously kick the field goal. You go up 10-0. You put the pressure on the Patriots. They're doing bupkis. Drake May ended up finishing the game with less than 90 passing yards. Have them beat you. And if you have any meteorologist on the sideline, coach, looks like it's going to get pretty rough later in the game here. Might want to go for some points. Like, nah, I'm okay. Greedy bastard wanted to go up 14-0 instead of 7-0, and then you kick the field goal up 10-0, and that changes the whole end of the game. So yeah, Denver definitely blew it. They shot themselves in the foot, and New England has just been lucky bastards getting, playing the right teams, right combination teams, right path in the playoffs, and they're a lucky team. There's no question.
Yeah, so Denver blows that one, and you nailed it, man. Like you have, if you are as brilliant as Sean Payton is, you have to know the weather situation that's about to hit Denver.
Of
It's
course.
not like you're caught off guard by that.
I hope not.
Right? So, like, look, I am always pro, or for the most part, I won't say always. For the most part, I am pro being aggressive. Like if
Okay.
that's Bo Nix and there's no weather situation,
Sure, right. Yeah.
I'm going for it because 14-0 just is feels a lot larger, and it's 4 more points. But in a game of that magnitude where your defense is playing well, I go up 14-0. That's the kill shot. But with a backup quarterback to just go up 2
100%.
scores, and now all the pressure is on Drake May, who's not playing well. Your defense starts to feel like, all right, we can knock these guys out right now. I just thought it was an uncharacteristically bad mistake in a moment of that high leverage for a Hall of Fame head coach. And I know that if he has to go back and do it all over, he takes the points.
Well, you heard Sean Payton throughout the week. I think it's his arrogance. A lot of the week, they're like, Jarrett Stidham, you're a big home underdog to the Patriots. That sucks. And what Sean Payton apparently told all the media and then the broadcasters ahead of the game, let me show you. Let me show you. So he wanted to go up 14-0. See, he wanted to just get arrogant and brash and say, hey, world, look at Jarrett Stidham. Bo Nix who? And look what happened. So I think there's a time and place for everything. I think to your point, the extra layer of you're playing with your backup quarterback. You've got 10-0 sitting here. Just take 10-0. Take what's in front of you. Don't get too brash with it, which is unfortunate because then obviously the Patriots benefit.
Yeah. All right. Talking to Boy Green here. We are breaking down all the action from this past weekend. Rams Seahawks. That was just a thriller. You kind of feel bad for Matt Stafford, but here's my take. So the Rams, you know what cost them a trip to the Super Bowl?
What's that?
It was weeks 16 and 17, where they lost back-to-back games, the overtime thriller to the Seahawks, and then the Monday night game to the Falcons, because that took them out of the 1 seed. And now you're playing an extra game. You're on the road the entire time. And I just think that this Rams team that was tremendous all year long, they've got the MVP. I think he's going to be the MVP at quarterback. What we saw yesterday was you just give them a one fewer game and they're at home the whole time. I think they're playing in the Super Bowl.
It's probably true because, again, they would have, let's play out the same Seattle path that they would have had. They would have played San Francisco. I love Rams in that San Francisco matchup. And then they would have been hosting the NFC Championship game in SoFi, and that would have been
maybe it's not the Seahawks. Maybe the Seahawks get
That's
clipped.
true. Right. Sure. Right. It could have been. It could have been a reverse. Chicago maybe has the different path, and they're coming up the other way. So sure. And then Rams are in there, and crazy. Matt Stafford got his Super Bowl ring a couple of years ago, beating that Cincinnati Bengals Joe Burrow team we talked about earlier, and the chance to have that second ring, and then
Yeah.
the crazy statistical success he had in Detroit. Oh my goodness, the NFL. There's a great case to be made that end of the season. Then you go to like the Carolina game. All the times that the Rams just sort of, dropped their pants in Carolina in a gimme game and they fell asleep and overlooked an opponent. I mean, yeah, they have no one to blame but themselves for slipping up uncharacteristically. And I don't know if they didn't, they played with their food too much. The Falcons game you brought up, a couple of these games where, they just get bored. We talk about it in the NBA, and you're a massive NBA guy, Ty. And we talked about a couple years ago with the Warriors of playing with their food in the regular season, just sort of getting bored. There's just so many games. It's hard to say that for the NFL because there's not 82 of them. There's 17 in this new world. But yeah, I guess that's what happened to LA there. And now they're at home with the rest of us. Cancun.
So you don't think we have the two best teams in the Super Bowl right now? Because I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC.
Oh, I do. Yeah, unquestionably, I think Seattle is the best team. But in the AFC, man, that's tough to say because of how wild it was this year. The Super Bowl I predicted at the beginning of this playoffs, I thought it was going to be Seattle and Jacksonville. I just thought Jacksonville was playing so hot. Trevor Lawrence, when he was on, was playing at an MVP level. Liam Cohen just seemed to have the temperature of everybody. That defense had high volatility with turnovers, and they just sort of seemed like this quasi team of destiny. I really like Chicago on the NFC side, but I thought Seattle was a better overall team. So yeah, I thought it was going to be Seattle, Jacksonville. So that's probably the other team I probably would have plopped in there.
And certainly when you saw Jacksonville against that vaunted Jet defense where they put up 48 points, you were like, yeah, this is this is the team right here to beat.
That was it. 5 touchdowns from old Goldilocks there. And I don't know which one was more impressive, the 5 touchdowns against the Jets or smacking around the Denver Broncos in Denver, which was impressive too. It was probably the Jets. It was probably that one. That one probably, plucked the old heartstrings. That was one of 5 great games where, I don't think we give, what, Ty, because you've been catching a lot of heat on social media. Let me give you another chance here to redeem yourself. Is that, all these people say like, Aaron Glenn, he lost his final 5 games by 23 points or more. Like, what a loser. And you know what? I respect that AG makes sure that there's no mercy. He didn't want to just lose. He wanted to ensure. Give teams credit when they blow teams out and win. But we don't give enough credit to teams that make sure that they lose and get blown out. So more credit needs to go to AG there, Ty. Yeah.
And maybe he's playing the long game. He's like, yo, if we are, because he was obviously guaranteed at least a year too. He's like, let's just be so bad in year 1 that anything we do in year 2 is considered like, an upgrade, right? Like it's considered
progress by default.
Progress.
Yeah. No. See, plan it. And see, now you're starting to get the AG thing. If you just had this a little bit more, you'd have a better image with the fans. They wouldn't be yelling at you as much. You need to start. Come on, I'm thinking of the long game here, Ty Butler.
So, what's so funny though? Like the fans who are defending him, they know, like in their heart of hearts, we're gonna be picking a head coach again next year.
No way.
Like you don't think so?
No. Tell many people.
No, be honest. Okay, so
I'm being honest.
Be honest.
Honesty is my middle name. I am Paul Boy Green Honesty Esden Jr. That's on my birth certificate.
That's a long name.
It's a little too long, quite frankly, which is probably why Ty Butler. That's so much shorter. See, you've made it in the big time with the name in the lights is a little easier. My name has too many. It doesn't quite fit in there. Here's the thing. Everyone on the outside says, "Oh my God, AG's clearly on the hot seat," but is he? Like after this terrible year they just had, Woody Johnson didn't come out and say, "Don't worry, everybody, he's safe." Why? Because he knew he was safe. He's like, he's 1 year into a 5-year deal. Of course he's safe. I don't have to give any update. Of course my guy is safe. And when they traded Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams at the trade deadline, Woody said everything without saying anything at all, saying, "AG, you've got this long-term plan. I see the vision, man. And you're going to be here for the foreseeable future." So maybe he's not as much on the hot seat.
All right. So if they go 3-14 again, you think he's like guaranteed a year 3?
3-14 would be a little bit tough. That'd be a little bit tough. I need a few more wins in that. But yes.
Okay. So we could all acknowledge they're not beating Buffalo. They're not beating New England.
Probably not.
So you're 0-4 there. And at
Okay.
best, we don't know what's going to happen with Miami. They've got a new head coach, Jeff Hafley, and then we don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be. But at best, you're 1-1 against the Dolphins, right? So you're also playing the AFC West, Denver, Kansas City, who might have Tyreek Hill back in the mix.
Yeah, who's throwing him the ball? Not Patrick Mahomes, not Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew. Who the hell's playing quarterback over there, man?
Well, Mahomes says he wants to be back by week 1.
Okay, I want $1 billion. All right.
So you've got the Broncos, you've got Fernando Mendoza, you've got Mahomes, and then you'll play the Chargers. They're not winning a game against the West next year.
4-0.
And then they play, what is it, the NFC North?
I think that's right. Yeah, let me pull up
the NFC North. Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. Like, where are the wins? Detroit. Where are the wins coming from? So it's another 3 or 4 win season for the Jets. You can't have 7 wins through 2 years and keep your job. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Whoa. Wait. Ty. You just don't have the right picture, man. You just don't have the right picture. That's what's happening here. You don't have the right picture. Here, let me show you, okay? Because let me put this up for you, okay? Look, we got an image for you here. Do you want to slap that up there? There you go. There's the Jets opponents here for the 2026 season. You're telling me that you don't see the path for the Jets in the playoffs? You don't see that here?
No, I don't. I don't.
Raiders, Browns, Vikings.
Yes.
Who's playing quarterback over there? There's a win.
Hang on.
Okay.
The Browns have a Pro Bowl quarterback as their starter.
That's true.
A Pro Bowl.
Put some respect on his name, for God's sake.
Put some respect on Shakur Sanders' name.
For sure. Come on, man. The Titans win. Cardinals win.
Wait, the
Vikings
Titans with Robert Saleh and Cam Ward
Raiders
and maybe Brian Dable?
How do you not see 9 or 10 wins here, Ty?
You're out of your mind.
What do you mean? There's still free agency. There's a draft. There's a lot of shifting that's going to happen.
Yeah, the Jets don't know how to do those things well.
What do you mean? Armand Member, what a great pick. That was Brandon Stevens. Okay, that was pretty nice, huh?
No, Brandon Stevens? No.
Yeah, he had a nice end of the year. That was very nice.
Yeah, okay. Membu, sure. Like, their offensive line is the best part of the team.
Garrett Wilson, he's going to be healthy.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there you go. Jermaine Johnson's going to be healthier. You're off the Achilles.
But here's the question. Who's throwing Garrett Wilson the football?
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we've been saying that for 30 years.
Okay, give me Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins. Let's win 9 or 10 games.
How about Mac Jones? They asked me that on TV this Saturday night.
It's going to be a little rich.
Jones? I said, listen, if Mac Jones is
second or third,
if Mac Jones is coming with Kyle Shanahan, yeah, I'll take him.
See, that's the same thing I said when people said, "Hey, Paul, you want? Can I interest you in some Malik Willis?" I'm like, "Is Matt LaFleur coming with him?" No, hell no. Malik Willis has started 6 games. I'm not jumping into that crazy pool. And if someone wants to, hey, there's a team on our screen, the Dolphins. They're Captain Packers land. They're Miami Green Bay. So you can have Malik Willis. I'm not overpaying for Malik Willis. I think not. So
how about this? Kel G1F says, like Mike Vrabel said in the Super Bowl winning locker room celebration or the AFC Championship winning locker room celebration, sometimes you have to believe without seeing. Yeah, you know what the problem is? Mike Vrabel can say that as one of the best coaches in football who's coaching perhaps the league MVP or a guy who's going to finish second in league MVP. Like, he's able to say that. That tandem is one of the best in the entire sport. Which, by the way, can we quickly talk about this? Okay. How bad was Gerard Mayo? Oh, boy. How bad was Gerard Mayo? This team
I hoped he would stay. I hoped so bad because, like, New England is such a proud organization. One and doneing someone is embarrassing. And Robert Kraft has since admitted this. I've seen him do it in TV interviews. Like, that was one of the worst things that he did because obviously coaches' contracts are fully guaranteed. And so it was heavy on his mind whether to do it. And I'm like, New England, come on, baby. I know this guy sucks. Hold on to him for 1 year. Because Mike Vrabel, he's going to be available right now, and he's going somewhere, and he's not going to be available for a long time. So I said, please, New England, come on now. Just hold on to him for 1 more year. You're too proud. You're above this. Don't do this. And then they did. I'm like, son of a bitch. That's
I was the fool who thought Vrabel could the Jets could lure Vrabel here.
That was his first interview, people. Remember, he was inside the Jets building before the end of the season. And by the way, I'm surprised, Ty, you're a Syracuse guy, proud Syracuse alum. This quote here is very nice, but there's a quote from one Dino Babers. Do you remember what the definition of faith is, Ty Butler? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. What did he say? I'm blanking on the. I do remember.
It is belief without evidence. That is the definition of faith. Belief without evidence. And there has been absolutely zero evidence that the Jets can turn this around. But that's why you got to have faith. You just got to believe. Hold on to the rope. Not
what's
the rope around your neck.
What's Dino Babers up to these days?
Yeah, I think he's at Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. Ty seems realistic. Is there a way he thinks we can get to 8 or 9 wins?
Come on.
Absolutely not. No
what
chance.
What do you mean no? No chance? What's our ceiling? What's our ceiling?
They're a 4 or 5 win team.
You don't even know who their quarterback is. How can we say this?
And that's the problem with saying they're going to win 9 or 10 games. Like the idea that I don't know who their quarterback is. You know why we don't know who their quarterback is?
Lamar Jackson. We're going to make a trade.
They've got the 2nd pick in a 1 quarterback draft.
That's unfortunate.
That's
unfortunate.
Great. And you just don't have, there's a reason why we were doing the whole Joe Burrow. Could we trade 5 first-rounders? Because there's no one available in free agency that is going to that's going to elevate you significantly.
Right. So give me some Kirk Cousins. Let's get Kirk Cousins. Let's get Captain Kirk in here.
How about this? Boss Girl 8. Trade for Davis Mills. I think he was better than Stroud this year, so don't think they trade him.
Exactly. You answered your own question, Boss Girl. They actually extended him at the end of the year. No one would pay attention because it's Houston. So, we're not reading those kind of updates. But halfway through the year, they extended him another year to carry him through 2026. And with how CJ Stroud just looked, they'd be nuts to trade Mills. And I don't think Mills is great, old giraffe neck down there, but they want the QB security. So I think that's not going to be an available option.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
So the Texans got to pay CJ Stroud.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Like, is there a world in which the Jets call him up and say, "Hey,
what would you give him?
You want this, man?" Well, here's the problem, because I was going to say, do you want the 16th pick and not the 2nd? I'm not doing that. But do you want the 16th pick in the draft and then maybe next year's 2nd? Is that enough for CJ Stroud? Because you got to pay him. That makes the cost less expensive, having to pay.
Of course. Yeah, that has to factor into the price. Yeah.
But the problem with that scenario is, as we saw throughout the entirety of the year, they've got a Super Bowl caliber defense. So you're not just you can't just punt on the quarterback position. And Davis Mills is not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Sorry, Davis. Wow.
So, but that would fascinate me. If all of a sudden CJ Stroud gets shopped around.
Well, the good news is that if that happens, right, a CJ Stroud surprise or some other quarterback, right, that you don't anticipate, that you're like, wow, I didn't think that guy was going to be available. The Jets are in the best position of any team to be at the front of that line. They got 5 first-round picks. They have 3 second-round picks. They have $100 million in cap space this year, $200 million in cap space next year. So they are equipped with any and every asset on the planet if a quarterback suddenly becomes available, which I'm sure the Jets are hoping for, because to your point, Fernando's going number 1. And so there's no other quarterback to take it to. So you can have all the assets you want, but if the quarterback isn't available, then you're going to just drown in your boat of assets of not having something to use it on. Yeah. So maybe CJ Stroud is the golden goose. Maybe it's somebody else we're not talking about. Again, Mike Florio earlier today on Yahoo Sports said he doesn't think Lamar Jackson returning to the team in 2026 is a lock. And I'm like, a 2-time NFL MVP, he's available. Sign me up. Give me something.
That wouldn't make sense though. If you're Baltimore, and it sounded like it came down to John Harbaugh or Lamar,
him, right?
Why would you, if you're going to trade Lamar, why would you fire Harbaugh? That just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, you know what? I don't need it to make sense. I just need it to happen. So Ravens, beep boop bop, call us on the phone. I'll take some Lamar.
Vrabel, according to Bosker 8 asked, did Vrabel add that when you're the NFL darling and give you a softball schedule, it's easy to believe? So here's the thing. People
Okay.
know I hate the Patriots. Sports hatred, right?
Sure.
I take no joy in watching this team for the fifth
Right.
time since the Jets for the fifth time make the Super Bowl since the Jets last made the playoffs. With that said, though,
Sure.
guys, they played the Chargers, one of the best defenses in football, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. They played the Texans, a Super Bowl caliber defense, and they played the Broncos just without Bo Nix. For all the people who are, running to the mountaintops to scream about how easy their schedule was, why did you not pick them to make the Super Bowl? You saw what their schedule was going to be. You saw who they were playing in the playoffs. Pick them to make the Super Bowl. Put your money where your mouth is. So we then can't, in like retrospect, because we don't like the Patriots, rag on, they played such an easy schedule.
Why
Pick
can't
them to
we?
make the Super Bowl.
What do you mean? Why can't we? We're Boss Girl's doing that right now. Why the hell can't we?
But Boy Green, you just told me your Super Bowl
Yeah.
pick was the Jags.
Yeah.
Right? So if you
Yes.
if you thought the Patriots schedule was such a cupcake one, why didn't you pick them to make the Super Bowl?
Actually, I picked them to win 5 games this year. Yeah.
Exactly. So
So-
you were way off on them.
I was
And then
slightly off.
and after seeing how way off you were on them, they get to the playoffs. They're the number 2 seed, and you saw they're going to play the Chargers with a quarterback who stinks in the playoffs.
Broken arm.
They're
Yeah.
then going to play the winner of Houston, Pittsburgh. So it's either a 42-year-old quarterback or CJ Stroud, who hasn't been good in 2 years. And then they're going to be in the AFC Championship game. And despite all of that, you still didn't pick them to make the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I didn't anticipate them using their voodoo dolls on CJ Stroud just throwing, lollipop balls.
But he was doing that all year.
Well, he had some moments where I thought CJ Stroud and his Texans team could win the Super Bowl. They did have a cupcake schedule. It's okay, Ty. Embrace the hate. I could be the Sith Lord over here. Go grab a hoodie so I can put it over and say, good, yes. Ty, come on. You hate the Patriots, so embrace the hate.
Yeah, I do, but I also have to be fair, and I have to give an honest assessment of what I'm watching. And it's Vrabel, and we just talked about how badly we wanted him and how badly we wanted him to stay away from New England. Like, part of this is he's an excellent head coach. The other part of it is, and I know he hasn't been good in the postseason. He's turning the ball over, and what'd you say? He threw for under 90 yards yesterday.
Right.
Drake
Terrible.
May had a fantastic season. And
Sure.
by the way, the Patriot defense, that's been the biggest shock to me. I didn't think their defense was this good. And they have been amazing so far in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Now, the
Gonzo's
toughest
great
test-
on the back end.
Yeah, the toughest test is going to come 13 days from now. But I just got to be fair, man. Like, I'm not just going to hate on them for the sake of hating on them. Like, if they're doing something that is worthy of credit and praise, I'm going to give them that credit and praise.
So who's winning the Super Bowl?
Seattle.
And by how many?
I think it's a close game, man. And I think Seattle is the better team. But you know how this thing goes, man. Like, the Super Bowl is just like such a different game. There are some early game jitters. It doesn't start to feel like a game until the second half because of the pomp and circumstance. And you got the halftime show.
Sure.
Like, there's so much that goes into it. And we still have to see Darnold do it again, right? Like, and so I think Seattle's the better team, but I think we're going to get a close one.
Yeah, I see Tatiana is in the chat. She jumped in on the Ty Butler show here. Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Tatiana? Long time no
go.
speak.
Yeah, good to see. Hopefully, the whole the Ty Butler family has grown since the last time we've seen.
And so has the Boy Green family.
That's a good point. Yeah, we gotta do a family reunion here soon. But yeah, we were yelling and cheering in her from New England Patriot face, and we were high-fiving and saying this is the greatest day of our lives, and then it wasn't. So thanks Atlanta
That
for
was so
that.
depressing. Oh my
That was.
god.
Thank you for bringing that back up, Tatiana.
Yeah,
That's
Tatiana,
lovely.
that's not like you don't want to have like the first time you've spoken to me in like a decade be
That's
this,
true.
right?
That's a
Like,
true point. Yeah, that's how did that just happen?
that's a bad impression, Tatiana. What a miserable night, man. What a miserable night. We were prepared because we had radio the next day. So we were
We did.
excited
Yes.
to come on and celebrate the demise of the
Mhm.
Patriots.
Yeah.
And it was the total opposite.
It
Sad.
was. And by the way, on that Patriots team, right? I thought that it was going to be a disaster. I predicted like 5 wins. And then Stephon Diggs is doing weird stuff with pink baggies and something with Cardi B maybe on a boat. And I'm like, what in the hell
Nah,
is going
Cardi
on?
B
Oh,
wasn't
this
there.
is
Don't
great.
put Cardi B there. Cardi B
She
was
wasn't
not
there?
on that
Who was
boat.
there? Was there
That
someone on the boat?
Cardi wasn't on the boat with Diggs for that.
Oh, okay. It
Cardi
wasn't
B
Diggs. Thank you.
is his girlfriend,
Oh,
and
right, 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 right,
she's
right.
got her own issues with Offset, but she wasn't on that boat
Okay.
with the
Thank you for
whatever
getting me
was
back
going on
on
there.
set there. I appreciate that. I need to make sure I get all my P's and Q's right. So there you go. And yeah, they've got nothing. They got Stephon Diggs and a bunch of randos at wide receiver. They're able to figure it out. So Vrabel deserves a lot of credit, but hopefully they burn in hell and lose by 1,000.
Yes, we do need to do a visit.
Oh my God!
You guys,
You still live right up there by your parents?
my parents live in Jersey now.
What? Oh
Yeah,
wow! I need to
they've been
get
in
caught
Jersey
up.
since 17, 18.
Oh damn. Okay, yeah, it's been a hot second. It's been a hot second.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but my grandmother still lives at the place you're talking about.
Oh, okay,
In
nice.
Brooklyn. I am in Queens.
Okay. How far? I'm terrible with directions. How far is that from
From
your old place?
my old place it's like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's not bad at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got ESPN New York now. Is that the Ty Butler mansion? Is that the one that has the TB on the gate?
No,
Is
that's
that
the
where
other
everything is?
mansion. That's the
Ah,
other mansion.
blast.
That's the summer home in California.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes. I got to make sure I have that right on the Ty Butler show here, for God's sakes. By the way, Ty, you freaking have this now. You got ESPN New York. Like the video for all the people in the room, for goodness sake. We're streaming live on the YouTube Boy Green channel, but come on over to the Ty Butler show, baby. The water's warm. Get in.
Yo, if you are on Boy Green's channel, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on my channel, do the same for my man Boy Green, who does a tremendous job every morning, 7:30 a.m.
Yes,
talking
sir.
Jets
Every day,
faithfully.
365.
And he's got his hot prediction that the Jets, not only are they going to win 10 or 11 games next year, but this time next season, we will be previewing the Jets in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Are you going to have a spot for me? You're probably going to be pretty busy on your Super Bowl week.
Now,
show.
if that happens, we got to get you back on.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. That'd be great.
We got to get you back on.
Keep a seat warm. That'd be great. What's the Ty Butler schedule right now at ESPN New York? Where are you cooking? Where are you on? I'm seeing you. You're an afternoon drive. You're on this show. You're on this show. You're all over the place.
I'm everywhere. We do have a little bit of an announcement coming up in a couple weeks here, but
good tease.
Right now we're just floating around everywhere.
Okay.
And then doing the TV thing on SNY.
I saw that. Oh man, you got yelled at for your cat take the other day.
Oh,
yikes!
Knicks fans coming at me.
Ooh, you're getting Jet fans yelling at you, Knicks fans. At least you're equal opportunity guy. You're allowing everybody to yell at you equally. So I respect that.
Yeah, people are just annoyed with all the takes I have. All right, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yes,
Your
sir.
biggest takeaway this weekend?
My biggest takeaway: Sam Darnold's for real, man. And so many people clown this guy, and for him to have 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 70% completion percentage, no picks. Everyone said when the Mike McDonald, his coach in his second year, said it best. He shut a lot of people up on Sunday, and I think he did. Now, to your point, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, but let's see in that Super Bowl, though." So he's gonna have to do it again, because if he's if he got all the way, to Cinderella's castle, and all of a sudden doesn't go in and finish a job, it doesn't matter. So Sam does have to do that. But I'm so happy for him. So I'm proud of old Sam Darnold, and I think he showed that he's the real deal. He's just got to do it one more time, and immortality, baby, championships, those are forever.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
I love Sam, but it's going to be odd, right? When we get to the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And Sam Darnold, in order for them to win the Super Bowl, I think Darnold has to play well. And now he's the Super Bowl MVP. And then you take a look at quarterbacks, and we could just go back like the last decade and a half,
All
quarterbacks
right.
to win the Super Bowl MVP. We go back the last, let's just say 2 decades,
Sure. Okay.
quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl MVP. Stop me where it's like, that name doesn't quite fit.
Okay.
You got Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning, Joe Flacco. Name doesn't fit.
Skirt.
Name doesn't fit. All right.
Yep. Yep.
Brady, Nick Foles. Name doesn't
Skirt.
fit. Mahomes, Brady, Mahomes, Hurts, and now it's Sam Darnold.
Damn. That's pretty sweet.
So Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, Sam
Yeah.
Darnold, like because
Even Jalen Hurts. I mean, right? Because
well,
like I don't
Jalen
know.
Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is better than a lot of people give him
That poor
credit for.
bastard, man. He gets tossed in the streets. And by the way, Eagles fans, they suck. 2 Super Bowl wins the last decade. They're always booing everybody
They're
all
the
over the place.
worst,
Like, what
bro.
the hell?
They are the worst.
Unsatisfied.
And then you
Disgusting.
see no one wants their offensive coordinator job.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no
would.
shit. I wonder why. Like, good night.
And
It's
and people are gonna try to spin this into like a Jalen Hurts indictment. Which
I've heard that already, which is crazy.
no, do you want your house egged midway through the season? Is
That
that
poor
what you
guy.
want? It's also low key a job that I think
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat going into this year.
He seems like he's always on the hot seat. This guy.
Yeah, so if you're
Unbelievable.
an offensive coordinator, and it's similar to why the Jet, or I don't want to say it's similar. It reminds me a little bit of what the Jets are going through
I get what
in
you're
their
saying.
OC because it's unattractive when the entire coaching staff could be gone a year from now.
Right. Sure.
So
Yeah. No, that
this was
again, totally tracks.
this was fun, man.
Oof. Thanks for the invite, brother. This is again the Ty Butler Show. I can understand it's Ty D Butler, the Ty Damn Butler Show. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, with your middle name, that is wow, phenomenal, man. This is has been terrific. Been far too long, but again, it's cool to see your. It's kind of like what Facebook was for old people. That's what Twitter is for me. I'm saying, oh, look at Ty Butler on TV. Give me some of this, dressed in the nines, getting yelled at by people, and then the Ty
Yeah.
Butler Show every once in a while. I'm seeing it. Cruising here late at night. This is great, man.
Same to you, man. Happy for you and all your success. I love seeing you do the show every day. Give my the man child some love for me. I know he recently retired, so give him a
Yes.
shout out for me. And
Yeah.
we'll do this again. Let's do this again next week sometime. We can talk some.
Okay.
We could
I'm
actually
in.
we could actually get into the game.
Oh
Patriots,
yeah.
Seahawks. Let's do it.
Super Bowl rematch. I'm all for it. That'd be awesome, brother. Let's make it happen.
Holla at me, man. I'll talk to you later.
Peace out.
Shout out to Boy Green for joining us on the show today. Hit me up, Ty D Butler. That is where you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on the YouTube page. Subscribe. I appreciate you guys for joining. We will come back tomorrow, talk some more Jets, get into some more football. But until then, have a great night, everyone. Holla at your boy. Deuces.